I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CTA Review. Today is August 4th, Monday, 2025. Hope you had a good day today. So I'm going to try to make these videos in August very short because I'm not really going to be trading too much anyway. I mentioned it earlier. But we talked about a possibility of either coming down here or not, right? Never breaking that low and then kind of moseying on our way up. So we're starting to do that. Not much structure, just being a birdie situation. So as you'll see that we just kind of came up, but we used that first imbalance for August and we came above it on the 15-minute, literally like right there, boom, opens up. And then I have this daily imbalance pushed out, which is how we use this as resistance to sell down. We came above it and to the tick kind of bounced up and just we're pushing up to get into this breakout area here from sellers and wiping out the inefficiency. And that's pretty much it. Just to keep it simple, how is it going to look like on a smaller time frame? You can see I got this projection here with the bodies only, right? And then you got 101.5, which we've been sitting in for most of the day. I got this blue line right there because that was kind of like a breakout area. So if I squinch in, you'll see that when the sells happened, boom, somebody's pushing sell here, easy peasy, right? Even from below here, and then breaking low. Obviously, that's a nice, obvious breakout level, right? But and that's just the logic that we're using here. Well, I'm using, but and then we're getting back into what that daily gap. Did we hit it yet? To the tick almost. And basically we also have this opening range gap empty, like they did it today. This shit is on purpose, right? But when we had that massive inefficiency, we're coming up to get that. Now we have one today. So what it looks like here, you can see if I go back to that first imbalance, take a look at that. I mean, that's not, that's perfect. So when you see this is already order flow up. You already, if we're bullish, you didn't want to get above this, for example. And then you can see us maneuvering in that daily imbalance I talked about. So 930 just opens up, wicks right to the 50, comes right back to the 25. Forget the 930 even, the 50, which there's a little imbalance in there. I didn't draw it. I'm going to draw it right there. Very small. And let's see here. So, and that was the logic there, and it's just momentum up, right? You have structure up, you get this down candle comes in. The bodies are a little bit past 50%, so, but it's really sitting at that body of that bullish candle. But in general, if I was to draw the structure, you could see it, and you might be like, "You do? We know I could see it after the fact." But the thing is, do you? Right? That's the whole key there. So right there, that high right there with this guy coming right back, and then let's just do that for now. Excuse me. Momentum. See it? So that's what this looks like right here. And the down candle, we tap in, but forget that. Look at the 50. Look at that candle right there. This 934 bounce right on top of it, right? Beautiful. 50% of that wick of this down candle. And then what are they doing? They're just off to the races. And you can see here, this is an old gap here. If you're wondering where this gap is from, I don't know if I talked about this gap, but Sunday, July 20th, right there, it's dragged out. And when we bounced right there first before we came down and we broke through. So this is a beautiful target right here, buying. And then what did we do from the rest? Well, we went into a 5-minute. So I'll go to a 5-minute real quick. And then as you see the 5-minute, look at the no wick, on that candle. And then we just tap in barely. And then momentum up, right? Beautiful momentum trades. So push up one. So to buy, sell, buy day for me, I call this a buy, sell, buy. So obviously it's buy, retrace back. Nothing deep. Didn't come to the first imbalance. But this is the first imbalance of the week. So I'm thinking that we're still going to come back to this. We'll see how they do it. But for this liquidity here, especially this liquidity, and this a breakout area right there from that high. See, look to the right here. See how we were already sitting on there? So they didn't want to come in already. They've already done the work here. It's just push off straight. But anyways, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy. Right? So that right there is move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? So that's how I count the sequence when it comes to a birdie day pretty much. You're not going to get deep ranges. And then on the 15-minute, by the way, we're tapping in right there. That 5-minute is refined. But the 5-minute, I didn't draw it, but it's right there. See that? See how that candle, this 945, doesn't have a wick. So slightly tag that, and if when you're bullish, you're gonna get that. Up 4 standard deviations, and we're pretty much, they're trying to inch their way to seal this opening range gap, and then the slick motherfucker selling right there. And that's it, man. There's nothing else to really talk about. But yeah, so let me just move forward real quick. Dollar staying down, that's pushing us up, also helping. And then you can see here at the time we had a little divergence with NAS, and then that gave us a retrace, and then we had another divergence, and then with lower lows pushed us back up. But real salty the rest of the day, not interested whatsoever. And you can see everybody rebounding. Everyone was oversold. I talked about that on the 4-hour. That shit happened. We took a breakout level, and then they're coming up for liquidity of the range. 50% is roughly here. These are all breakout levels, pushing right through, trying to get into this. And that's a very common situation and logical. Plus, this is, major support. I talked about this shit. We did tag that, didn't we? Ooh, missed it by a hair. But we talked about that. So if you remember, breakout, they just came in. Speaker, this is very common at this time of the year. And I am not interested one bit, to be honest with you. So we'll see how it goes, coming to a 50, but very logical to come up and take that out. Again, we didn't gap down hard and then push, right? We didn't see that. So let's see. Try to make videos quick. All right, 930 also pushed off here. All right, came down a little bit, and then just buy, sell, buy. Right? That's just birdie days. You're not looking for, even if you caught a retracement, you're looking for another buy, right? And then S&P. Did I just skip it? Yeah. Here, well, we talked about that, right? Coming right to that candle right there, which it makes perfect sense from yesterday, wiping out the complete. And this is actually a good response if we're bullish, wiping out that whole fucking candle. Look at that, dude, crazy. Again, if this was a pullback to the all-time highs as support, push off. I mean, that's perfectly logical. Low of the Monday, possibly. And very difficult to catch that too, but and then let's take a look real quick. Same idea there, right? So, and they got into that area already. So, perfect. Really simple logic. We were already into that 1-on-1.5 right here on this projection. Let me see the bodies. I didn't really look at the bodies too much. Okay, and you can see right there, sitting in that 1-on-1.5 on a refined situation. Oh, I was gonna mention something, but yeah, that all-time high, pretty much, holding that bitch. See that? And that's logical. And that, they're trying to get the easy breakout guys in support, tag them, make you induce liquidity again. But the thing is, for the seasonality, I don't know if we're done with the bottom. I really don't. And that's why I drew this, because I was like, okay. Well, I actually continued more with other examples. Let me see if I can find it here. So I gave this as an idea. Again, not knowing if it's going to take out that low first and then pop up, right? So we have done this now, right? We've came up minus the low. And do they want to come? If it's if it was the 15 year, I would expect it to come back down and sell off and wipe them out. But we'll see, man. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting how they do this. And again, why I'm not interested in August. So I'm interested in the last 2 weeks of September to be continuously trading. So we'll see if it's sometimes out of nowhere August will be a good month, and so far it's been pretty awesome. It's sold off and then it just bounced back up pretty easy. But from here and now it's like But so that was the other example I gave on Friday, and so there was that, and then just popping up. I think that was it. Yeah. So, anyways, and then the majors pushing up here, Nvidia especially, getting above that high, and I mean, it looks like it's back to business as usual. But I think the rug's gonna get pulled somewhere here, and man, now they're pushing it at the end of the fucking day. Look at these pussy ass bitches. I'm gonna say it just like that because you really think buyers and sellers did this? Like, there's no way, right? And that's why on birdie days, any little pullback is a blessing, right? I can draw it more in detail here. I didn't draw that. I wasn't even looking at the market anymore. I did do some tape reading, but I was pretty much done after lunch looking at this shit. But all right, there you go, right there, right? And then the PM session bouncing all around it, and then taking off right there at the market on close. Man, come on, man, that shit is not by accident. Okay, so now they got into, and really what I was gonna even say is the liquidity here, sitting here, because when we broke through that low, we made lower highs and we stopped. And this is on the 4 hour, you're going to see it's inefficient. It's like, where was it going to go and stop? But I'm assuming that this is where they're headed right there. You see that? So I'm going to draw this. It's like they're trying to push for it now. Fucking hoes, I swear to God. I'm just going to use this for a moment. I'm not even going to use the gap. I just want to show you the area, right? So that area right there. So it broke through clean. And then, where are you? Okay. I think that's good. So, liquidity and efficiency, where is that? If we take a look at it, you have an efficiency, and below that was liquidity. If you go on a smaller time frame, here, let's look at the 15-minute real quick. You'll see liquidity and efficiency, obviously on a higher time frame. You'll see that. Here, same story. Liquidity. Well, this sealed up, but liquidity, and I'm sure there's on a smaller time inefficiency. But that's the game here, right? We're trying to match those two things in a perfect world. And in this case, you can see that high right there, which is over here on the 4 hour. Again, I'm going to zoom in again. So that's liquidity, and what's right above that? An efficiency. And what's that? Breakout level. That's a perfect trio for targets. But trying to get back into 50% of the range as they're doing. And let's take a look here. Boom. I think we just hit it. Yeah, we did hit it, obviously. Let me just do this real quick. Boom. Rush into it. Could be a beautiful sell happening right now, to be honest. Because then that might kick in. This idea of popping up to squeeze out and then rolling over again, I really don't think we're done with the bottom side. For some reason, I mean, even though this is a great response, I don't know, man. And you got that gap, by the way, in between July 31st and August 1st. So they're coming back for that. That's the other thing that's obviously in the red right here. You can see the gap right there. So they're doing that. Do they take out this high? Do they squeeze that out or not? I mean, if I was them, I would, and then I would roll over back where to the first imbalance of today, or even the month. I mean, because if you look at the drawing, we're coming up. Do we get structure again to come back down? In this case, let me just move forward. Let me just draw it because this is what I'm assuming. But Eric, look at that from over. Oh my God, just super dope. And by the way, balanced price range. When you see this is very suspect for a sell-off, or vice versa. And sure enough, that's how they did it. Look at it. I mean, I've seen this pattern on a top many times, especially with Dow. But I'm just gonna move forward and say, all right, we did come back up. If we're bullish, I'm just gonna keep it simple. I mean, I'd like to see something like this. I would like to just see it something like this. That's fine. Okay. If we don't do that, then I'm definitely gonna say we're coming back for a low. Okay. Let's just do this for example. Let's just do that for example, and then push back up. But however long this takes, who knows? But the way the market's moving, it's moving. All right, so those are my examples of yeah, retracing back, pushing up, and then pushing through this. Coming up any higher is just for the first 10 days, or yeah, for the first 10 days of the month, it's just tough. So we got an accumulate. This is the open of the month accumulation, manipulation with these extra lower highs they built, and then distribution, which we're seeing that. So I mean, that's why I'm saying in this case, I mean, you know, I'd like to just see something like that. I mean, you know, it's fucking real simple, right? Nothing else there. But it is very possible that if this pushes up and we come back in here, that we then come like this. Hold on, just give me a second. I know it looks crazy. You know what I'm saying? So pushing up again, and this is pertaining to more of the second half of the month of August. So these are my ideas, and so far, if it didn't take out that low, that one panned out. Again, momentum trading. I'm not a momentum trader, but I'll be honest with you. I'm definitely going to try and incorporate it more in my trading because I miss out on a lot of opportunities. But we'll see. And it's not hard, especially if you got sub-second or if you're pretty good on the 1 minute. It's a 5 minute, yeah. But as you see, every 5 minute, open, I mean, close, just pushing, right? So I mean, you know, I see it very easily, but again, I'm not a momentum trader. So, but you do have order flow here, right? Beautiful there. Look on the 50, boom, and then and just simple. You know, people call this bull flags right here. They draw they draw trend lines here, and they take out and they trade momentum. Just, you know what I mean? And it works. It's you know, it definitely works. You know, and I see this. I don't like pushing buy as it's pushing up here, right? Because I understand speakers, I understand grabbing liquidity and all this bullshit. But you know, early in the day, it's pretty slick. But we'll see. I'm not a momentum trader like on the higher time frame where I'm waiting for it to bust this high, even though it did that beautifully here. As you see, it busted through that high and then just kept going. Came back to that 5 minute. This is a 5 minute imbalance. But algorithmic, dancing around, boom, taking off from there. Excuse me. And yeah, sitting at the 50 right now. And of course, they're scamming as do at the end of the day. So we have a 101.5. And by the way, that other example, that was that 2 to 2.5. If we had popped up a little higher, then rolled over. But and maybe if they do push up through Asia London, we'll get a retrace there. But again, man, this month is just always fickle. But if you kept this very simple, this is a definitely basic support. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't get any more fucking basic than that. And look at the day's candle. By the way, that's why I said I didn't know if it was going to break below. Look at the daily open. Obviously, we gap, but we just come inside the wick of the previous day, which is obviously Friday. If you do 50% of that, you'll see that right there. See if, oh, no. That's not what I'm doing. I got to be done. I told myself I'm going to be trying to make videos fucking short. But, bam. Look at that, baby. So, Look at that. To the tick. And I'm aware of that too. Look at that, buddy. Can't make that up. See how that's the wick right there. And boom. All right, beautiful buy. Beautiful buy. And but the point is, what I'm trying to say is that yeah, candle stayed in and took off. Real easy play. Had some troubles getting filled in the push off today, and I was just fucking wanted to break a screen, and I was just like, you know what, bro, I'm walking away. But I've been having problems lately, so I'm gonna see if I can try to fix that shit. But anyways, other than that, let me look at the data here. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know, man. It's a little unorthodox to be already only the 4th of the month and to be pushing up already fast. But I get it. They want to take out the easy sellers because it was fucking easy. So, but that's super support here. I'm gonna even make this bigger. And I talked about it, by the way. I know I talked about it. Where are you at? Let's go one more bigger. All right. And boom. So that's the logic. Using also that gap, by the way, which was beautiful. And boom, bounce right there. Break out. Just kept going. So just make it easy. Keep it simple. Keep the order flow. Don't need to be smarter than you are. No, not trying to catch a top here. It's just buy pullbacks, simple flow. I just honestly feel like after these two moves are done right here, it's about to get nasty. So we'll see. 21 minutes. I like that. Did I go over everything? Yeah. And I've already given the examples, and this just looks super fucking juicy here. But let me change that. And then, man, I'm gonna end up making a long video if I do it. But coming in here, I did clean up the chart a little bit, by the way. So I took off all those highs, right? And I left that one. Why did I leave that one there? Yeah, and that's that other example. I said if we come high, they want to come into this area because that was an easy push through. I'm gonna move this guy here. I'm just gonna keep that high for now. But all the other highs, because obviously I didn't have nothing to the left of the chart, I did some cleaning up, and then here I did some macro analysis. Let me go to the daily. And then pretty fire here. You'll see what I'm going to give you is fire, by the way, just so you know. But projecting this COVID whole move back, you can see the 2 to 2.5 here. We came here in 22, right? We retraced back. I did this projection here to 101.5, more specifically the 1.5. The bodies are all sitting there. You don't even have to see it. I'm doing this on purpose. So 101.5 there. And then I projected this whole swing from 22 back. You can see the -1 right there. Look to the right, how we came up to it. And then I also measured this swing here. So this swing here, I did that. And you can see us 3.5 to 4 right here. And it's almost literally the top of the year of January of 24 before we got into the beginning of this year, 3.75. You can see that it's the high, and it's sitting right in between that 3.5 to 4. That's how we pushed up for another leg. And then, by the way, the retracement, super extra. I mean, dude, what I'm giving you is fire, buddy. Let me just do that. And then, yeah. All right, retrace back into 61 to the head. Look at it. Look at that level to the 61. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna delete this. Well, I'm gonna leave that. So then we pushed up here, right, and we retraced where to that 50. We had a breakout level gap. Simple. This is keeping it simple. And I gotta also remember to just keep it simple too. I mean, that's something daily that I do. But anyways, then I measured this because these were all consecutive. This is the last consecutive move down, I believe, and then to getting to here, and then us getting to one, which is where we sold off from on July 31st. Right? See that? So I'm still bullish, and with that push like that, I'm expecting to still go through from an overbought to a 50 here on the daily. Again, I'm expecting to get it. The next level would be 1.25 for me. Should I just draw it now? I think I should. Let me do this real quick because I gotta go, man. This is how I make fucking videos long. And oh, the negative. All right. So somewhere in this vicinity here, pushing up. I'm expecting that to happen at the end of this month or like mid-September. If that doesn't happen, it's October. But I mean, for this response to already be back up, you're gonna have to see if it's gonna come back down. It's gonna have to be a massive move down. It's gonna have to be something big. I don't. We're just gonna keep it simple. And then as you see, when we reached this 2 to 2.5, we pulled up, we pulled back into the fib. Once we did that, we pushed up into here, 3.5 to 4, we pulled back into the fib. And, in that same similar conversation, I'm going to assume that we'll be doing the same thing, pushing up and then pulling back into maybe this breakout area that we didn't do now. That's why I'd like for them to do it now so then we could push up. But, so there's that. Let me measure it this way too. And well, in a perfect world, yeah, I'd love for it to come to this -1, which is I know 28. I know, but in the big grand scheme of things, is it really is it really cheap or not? So this scam is going to continue forever. But you just gotta watch this shit right here, dude. You just gotta watch this shit right here. So if we get a push back down with a big candle, that's gonna be crazy. Then they'll come into this area. But again, I'd like for it to come higher. Still, I really would. Let me see here. Measure the whole thing, -1. Yeah, I mean, I would really like to just see it keep going up. So, this level, 0.25, we've already talked about that. This level, and then obviously 0.75 to 1, and then roll over back again. I mean, that's to keep it really, it's a little naive, right? It's a little myopic at the same time, but it is also keeping it simple. So, and then I've highlighted the months. First imbalance here in green. And then if you want to take a look at that, come on, I gotta go, bro. Be done. Quit talking already. 28 minutes. Yeah, see, this is an extra tidbit. I won't do this anymore. But I mean, hopefully this was pretty sick and helpful for you. And yeah. So obviously we're gonna want to stay above. We're gonna want to stay above this first imbalance of this month to be bullish. You would want to kind of see it come up there. So retracing back to here or to here and pushing back up is all good with me. The next daily candle, could it wipe out half the body? Sure. Or does it just push up and it's strong? I don't know. We'll see. Get into an overbought here, and then I talked about that 4 hour. We haven't seen it in a long time, and that's what this thing is. So that's a great buy right here. But you guys take care. God bless.